Hi, this is Drew Loker, and today we're going to continue working with Spreadsheet Assignment 2, Activity 5, Develop a College Planner. First, return to your classroom, click on Classwork, find your SS2 Personal Trackers assignment. You'll want your assignment instructions open, which I've already done so. And also for this exercise, for Activity 5, you'll need the scholarship list. So we'll go ahead and click on that and let that open in the background. The next thing you'll want to do is open up your existing assignment. Click on View Assignment. And you'll want to open up your previous SS2 personal trackers. Do not create a new one because you want to track and have all 3 activities for Assignment Spreadsheet 2. And that is going to be Activities 4, 5, and 6. So go ahead and open up the existing work, which you should have already finished Activity 4 at this point, for the Budget for Teenager Activity 4. Make sure that the name reflects Activity 4 down there at the bottom. So for this exercise, we're going to create a new worksheet down at the bottom, or sheet rather. The entire workbook are all of your sheets down here at the bottom. So we're going to click the plus sign, and that creates a new Sheet 2. Pop up the little caret and click on Rename and call this College Planner Activity 5, and you can abbreviate the activity. Alright, so this assignment is going to be broken up into 2 parts. The first part is to get your basic text into place. Now for this activity I have provided the formulas for you. So whereas the last few activities have been trying to get you to know how to write a formula and even to the point of coming up with the formula yourself on Activity 4, on this activity, I've actually given you the exact formula a little bit lower down in the instructions. Now this assignment is intended to be completed from a text-based instruction. However, this video tutorial will help fill in the gaps. So here are the instructions for Activity 5. We've already done Step 1. Step 2 is to type in the data exactly as you see below, except you can abbreviate scholarship or anything else. You can skip the extra details and parentheses. I do want you to color code your cells. Green indicates a value from you. That means a dollar amount. Yellow will indicate a formula, which, as I said before, you'll just copy and paste from below. So a little bit further below, we have the actual screenshot. And you see there's a little bit of text, but that's the most daunting part of this assignment. So we're going to restore down so that our instructions are on one tab. And I'll minimize that in the background so it's a little less confusing. I'm going to pull the assignment tab over. And we're going to go ahead and set this up and make it look exactly like what it says over there, including the freezing of row 1. So all of the information has been typed in now. And you'll notice that I do not have in column F the tips. So you may want to return back to the screenshot with the tips. So I'm going to do a little bit of formatting. First, I'm going to freeze row 1, and I'm going to double click some rows, or some columns rather. When I double click the space between the A and the B, we've learned that it automatically fills into the length of the longest line. So we're probably going to pull that back because that's a little on the long side, but you'll notice that it's wrapping over. So I'm going to click on column A, and I'm going to come over here to the wrapping tool, and if you don't see these, twirl open your tools or your menu bar. If you don't see both of those, actually you should see all your tools. The only reason you wouldn't see all your tools is if your window is too small and Google Sheets compresses down that toolbar down to the 3 dots. So you'll click that and it'll pop up your whole entire toolbar. Or you can go ahead and expand to full size so that you can see your entire toolbar, and your menu bar is revealed by twirling out this little caret. And when it's facing down, you don't see your menu bar, and if it's facing up, you do see your menu bar. And I know that does cause some confusion there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and click on column A, and we're going to click on the wrapping tool and wrap that entire column. And you'll notice that the starting value, how much do you have for college right now, is now wrapping correctly. And of course, you could have also just simply have typed in that bit of information, and you can also get rid of. So if you have abbreviated the column, as long as it's clear what is in that cell, anything in parentheses, you can go ahead and get rid of. Almost everything. All right, so we're going to click on a C and just make it smaller. It doesn't need to be that wide. And D, we're going to do the same thing for it. We're going to wrap it and go ahead and pull it out so it is not quite so, so each cell is not so thick or so tall. Is the height of it is what it's called. So you have the width and the height of a cell. So we'll just go ahead and pull that back out, and you shouldn't have any numbers like that. Those should be deleted right now because we haven't put in the formulas yet. All right, so this is our basic setup right here. You're now ready to go ahead and get the information. The first thing I'd like you to do is to return back to the spreadsheet list, and thanks to a very helpful person at Westbrook a couple of years ago, helped me refine and really do a very nice job on this scholarship list. Now this is a couple of years old. It is a project that we started a number of years ago, trying to accumulate all the scholarships that came in at Westbrook. And I'd gotten the project started and handed it off to a person who really expanded. And I guess one of the things I'd like to mention is that one of the things I've been sharing about spreadsheets is not just for calculating and tracking stats. You know, many of y'all are involved in sports and don't necessarily appreciate the value of somebody sitting over on the sideline tracking every single statistic, because that helps the coaches. But when it's time to evaluate that information, they do so in a spreadsheet. So spreadsheets are not just necessarily for running a formula to, you know, calculate grades and budgets and financial matters. Basically, it's a way of organizing your data. So there are no fields calculated on the scholarship list. It is just a way to organize in a column format. You can sort by the alphabetical listing in column A. You know, if you want to make this your own, you could go File, make a copy, and actually put this in your drive. Now, one of the things I've done is put some of the highlighted scholarships up here at the top, and some of these you'll notice they're available to 7th and 8th graders right now. So, for example, the Carson Scholars Program, it's only a $1,000 one-time pay, and that is important to note. In column D, it does indicate how often that scholarship pays. So in this case right here, the Scholastic Art and Writing Scholarship is a $10,000 scholarship, and it is available to you right now that you can actually apply for that. And some of these have what exactly is required in column F. You know, working on good grades every day, every year, even though you don't have a GPA necessarily, as far as a ranking that you'll have when you get to high school, where you'll want to very much be focused on being in the top 10%. In this column right here, you'll see that there are some other scholarship requirements, such as good attendance. And some of these, all you got to do is just let your counselor know that you'd like to be the representative, like this Carson Scholars Program. All you have to do is talk to our counselor and express an interest to be the representative for this school. And there's only one nominee for each school for the year per grade level. So that would be a very interesting scholarship to be looking at right now. I Have a Dream Scholarship is another big one. Now, this one pays $1,000 each semester for up to 4 years. And that's a pretty big deal right there, which means that it's going to pay you $2,000 per year, or $1,000 per semester. So the total payout on that is going to be $8,000 for a 4-year degree. And we'll get to that when we enter that column and that whole entire row into the spreadsheet. You'll notice I have one scholarship in red. Please don't use the Burger King scholarship, because it does have a requirement that you or your parent has to work at Burger King. And this is a national scholarship, even though it's a $50,000 scholarship, which means, oh, I'm going to put that in there to help defray the cost of college. You have to think about the statistics on these. Most of these scholarships on this list are local, and you have to think about how many people total apply for those scholarships. Maybe the entire Southeast Texas area, maybe a couple thousand students if you take the total number of seniors from all 30 or plus more schools in this area. And you start thinking about it, and it's the districts, and each of those normally just have one high school. With the exception of Beaumont, you're still talking about a low number of people that apply for many scholarships. So a lot of money is left on the table, so to speak, that is unclaimed, or very few people actually apply for it, so that the number of people applying, a large number of people actually win those awards. So the money's out there, and for anybody that's sitting out there thinking you're not going to go to college, first of all, you're a 7th and 8th grader right now, you're probably not interested in going to college. We understand that. It's one of the reasons why we continue to put that out in front of you, because we know that by the time you're 18, there's a very, very strong chance that you're either going to go to a 2-year or a 4-year degree at the very least. And some of y'all obviously are focusing on much bigger, higher standards than that. So what I want you to do, you can look down this list. I put a few up at the top, certainly not saying you have to choose these, but for the simplicity of the assignment, you could pretty much copy rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 and copy all that and go paste it in your spreadsheet. Let me show you how this works. We're going to take row 3 first. I highlight the row by clicking the number 3, and we're going to do a Control-C. And then I'm going to come back over here to my assignment, which is open in another tab completely. And I'm going to highlight row 15 and paste. And you'll notice that it basically pasted in everything for me. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is return back to my scholarship list. And I'm going to grab 3 scholarships that I would like for you. I want you to grab 3 scholarships for you to focus on. You can do it one at a time, or like I said, for simplicity, if you're like, I just got to get this assignment done. I get that. I understand. So just right-click on the 3, highlight. I'm showing you again. Click on 4, drag down. If you accidentally click in the wrong place and you start dragging a cell, it won't let you move it unless you've made this your own copy. And if you do make this your own copy, you can manipulate the data. You can sort by the award. You can delete the ones that you're not interested in. But there's 200 listed out. Now, although this is the 2017-18 list, most of these scholarships are available every year and repeat every single year. Of course, the opening and the deadline and some other dates will have changed each year. And if those are things that you want to focus on right now this year, you'll definitely want to focus on looking up that scholarship in particular. So we're going to copy the Carson Scholars Program, which I actually know somebody who won this as a junior at Westbrook. Attended the award ceremony. It's very special. So we're going to right-click and copy. And if you can't right-click, just do the Control-C. And I'm going to go back to my assignment. That's an alternate tab. And I'm going to highlight 16. It's going to replace the 1 in the question mark. Make sure you highlight 16. You can also click on cell A1. But to me, it's a little easier clicking the entire row and paste. And you'll notice it just pasted in there. And then return back to your assignment. I'm going to go ahead and grab the next 2 this time. But do spend a few minutes on this. Although the primary objective for this assignment is to learn how to work with a spreadsheet, the secondary and a very big objective is for you to learn about the scholarships. That, first of all, college is more expensive. When I was your age, college was running about $500 a semester. And today, Lamar, absolutely nothing wrong with Lamar. Very excited for you to go to Lamar. I went there. I graduated myself, and very excited about the student-to-teacher ratio and the close, being able to stay at home and cut back on quite a few costs and still accomplish a very major objective. But the bottom line is, even going to college here at Lamar would be $4,000 per semester, not counting room and board. So if you move off, and let's say you want to go to a different college, you want to go to, let's say, LSU in Baton Rouge, or maybe McNeese in Lake Charles, just to go a little further away from home, but not immediately, you're still looking at having to do room and board, and now you're increasing the cost per semester. So a lot of reasons to consider going to Lamar. All right, so when you find a scholarship, all you have to do is click the whole entire row, right-click, and copy, and you can go paste it in. So anyway, we're going to finish off and go back to our assignment. I'm just going to quickly grab these 2, and I'm going to do a Control-C to copy, alternate tab to swap, click on row 17 and paste, and now all 3 of my scholarships are in there. So I wanted that in there before we start filling in our data. Now, the green boxes, which hopefully you color-coded, are so designed that they need to actually have a cost from you. Now, the tips that you did not have to type in have a little bit of information that you might need to refer back to, and this is coming from the instructions. And if you need to go back and review them, I'm just going to go from the top of my head. In E, we're going to put the minus $4,000. Actually, it's about $4,500 for Lamar. I think you can, just for simplicity, you can put in $4,000. And I'd like for you, unless you know something else, there's more details on the instructions online. I'm going to request that you just simply put in 8 semesters. That's a 4-year degree plan. And for the video, I'm going to skip over why we need to just simplify that with just an 8. How much you're currently saving per month. I'd like for you to consider saving $50 per month. And most of y'all, if you're 13 right now, I'd like you to factor in 10 years. That includes through your years as a college student. So assume that you're going to go to age 22. And the scholarship per semester. Now, if it only indicates an amount, you can only put $1,000 and just put one-time pay. If it is something like the I Have a Dream scholarship, that is a $1,000 but it's going to pay 8 times. That's a total of $8,000. And we're going to continue this in part 2.